Oh, yeah. Tiffany, where are my flukes? You moved stuff again, didn't you? Damn it, the white ones, the zooms. These aren't craws, these are frogs. What are the frogs doing in the craw box? It's post spawn. If I don't find these flukes, I'm gonna zero again. This week is wild. Spawn is pushed all the way north to the Canadian border. Post spawn is setting up in the southern plains, and summer patterns are firing up down south. Throw in 2 low pressure systems and an NPFL event, and you better be ready to adjust. Oh yeah, found my flukes. Welcome back to Bass Prediction Center, where we're tracking weather, seasonal patterns, and tournament trends to help you catch more and bigger fish. Let's go. Welcome back. It's already week 15, guys. Pretty wild. Map's getting a little bit boring with only 3 different zones on it. You've got fish spawning all the way to the Canadian border finally. Guys, it goes so fast up here in the north, as you can see. Some of these are going to be very early spawners, but there's going to be spawners up there. So get out, get ready, start looking for beds if you're in these areas. If you have a cool down, it might push them off, but right now it's time to fish right now. Post-spawn zones have really expanded up into the southern parts of Nebraska, Virginia, West Virginia area, and almost all the way through California. You're post-spawn fishing, really good time to be out there. And then your summer patterns are creeping up into the southeast and into the central parts of Texas here. So looking for those shell beds and all those good things for summer. Really fun time to fish also. Really not a bad time to be anywhere in the country right now. We do have an NPFL tournament this week. It's going to be on Douglas Lake in Tennessee. It should be a really fun event. We'll cover it further in the tournament section. And we are finishing up the heavy hitters event this week. Should be today is the last day, I believe. So check that out too. And that's your map.
The St. Croix Bassmaster.
The MLF heavy hitters event still has 2 more days. Sorry to hear Matt Steffen did not make it through the initial round. But everybody else that's out there, good luck to them. Super fun event. They're paying out, I think, $100,000 for the biggest bass, and then you also $100,000 for whoever wins the thing. So it's kind of a cool, unique event if you guys haven't ever watched it, but that's kind of who's leading it. There's Group A and Group B. So some familiar names in there for sure. Oh, actually, Matt Steffen is qualifying. Look, I'm sorry to say that I was wrong, and he is qualifying. That's awesome. He's in 6th place there in Group B, so that's great for him. Excited to see him move on in this thing. All right, over here in the Bassmaster, I wanted to shout out Pat Schlapper, or Schlapper, however you say it. Actually got this thing done over here. This guy was winning big times in the lower levels, and now he's got his first Elite Series win. Absolute grinder over there at the Sabine River. I think the biggest bag was like 12 pounds for the whole weekend. Even Fajita was not using live scope. He said he was power fishing. I saw him fishing around an old boat. It was pretty cool. But as you can see, the guys that scope, Patrick Walters, and the guys that don't scope, they're good either way. They don't need scope to win. All 3 of these, 2, 3, and 4, are not scopers. So I mean, they're normally scopers, but weren't able to scope in this event because of the situation. They still did very well. But congratulations to Pat Schlapper in this thing for winning. It's a really fun event. Kind of boring to watch, but it's super fun and old school fishing for everybody. All right, and probably the most exciting league right now. If they can grow up, this would be awesome. The NPFL has a tournament here in Dandridge, Tennessee on Douglas Lake. Right now should be a really awesome event. The Angler of the Year race is dominated by elite pros. It starts this Friday, I believe, or Thursday, the 22nd, so Thursday. Check out npfl.com to watch it live. Really cool event. They can't use live scope, so if you hate live scope, you need to be watching the NPFL. Has a lot of great anglers in it. Look for Greg Hackney to dominate as he always does in this thing. So npfl.com for this one, guys.
You can see all of our 8-strand lines, tackle boxes. Let me show you.
All right, guys, we're going to have a new giveaway announced today, and we're going to be going for 1,000 subscribers here on the channel. I'll announce the prize in a future video. I have not decided what we're going to do yet. And then shout out to Wade on the Lure. I'm going to tag him in this video. I've been trying to comment on some of his videos to get a hold of him, but if you guys know him by chance, which is probably rare, shout out or tag him in this thing so we can get him his prizes from the 500 subscriber giveaway. If I don't hear from him in the next week, we'll draw somebody else for that thing. But super excited. We're looking for 1,000 subscribers. Make sure you follow this channel. Like my videos, guys, if you love them. We're going to keep bringing out the good information for weather and fishing. So please follow, and we'll get you a new giveaway coming up soon. All right, jumping into the weather, starting off with your SPC Day 1 outlook. This is for today on Tuesday. As you can see, we have another enhanced risk here in the Dixie Alley area. Definitely going to watch out for some tornadoes tonight and some wind and hail. Definitely a dangerous situation. You want to have be weather aware and have your severe weather action plan in place. As you can see, there's a hatched area for tornadoes. So if you're in this area, you're not going to want to be fishing today. Some major storms going on, definitely some tornadoes. So be safe out there, all the way from northern Illinois down to the middle parts of the southeast. So be careful out there. Let's look at Wednesday. Looking a lot better and a lot safer for everybody. You're going to have some severe weather over here on the coast, but not nearly as dangerous. Possibly some severe weather here through the Central Plains and down into Missouri and Arkansas, but nothing too bad. Much better day to fish. Also on Thursday, looks really good. Maybe a little bit of storms here in northern Texas, Red River area, but again, much better and much safer. Let's look at our maps. All right, looking at our forecast map here, it's going to show us where our storms are going to be. As you can see today, this low pressure system is bringing storms all the way from the Midwest, northern Midwest, all the way down here to the southeast. And that's what's going to fire off those tornadoes as it gets a little bit later. It looks like about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock p.m. here, you're going to start seeing these storms fire up, and you're going to want to be safe and be off the water for sure. If you're not off the water, you better have your life jackets on and your kill switches engaged. As we move into Wednesday morning here, looks pretty good. Kind of crazy. Seeing some possible snow up here in North Dakota. I know I said spawn earlier, but that is going to not help the spawn. So if you guys are in North Dakota, it really sucks to be out there right now and maybe go walleye fishing. But as we go forward into Thursday, looks much better. You're going to have some storms here off Massachusetts, Rhode Island, maybe Maine, and some parts of the Pennsylvania and New York area. But the rest of the country looks really good. Maybe some rain in Florida. A little bit of rain in the Northwest, which is normal here. But much better day there on Thursday. And then Friday, really good day. Possibly some storms here in the Central Plains. As of right now, they don't look too severe, but we will see as we move closer. Maybe Friday night, some severe weather in there. But like I said, as we move closer and release the weekend update, we'll have a better picture. And then looking at an early picture of your weekend, Saturday morning, you're going to see some rain here in the Central Plains, Missouri, thunderstorms and rain. So if you're planning on fishing on Saturday, it might be a little rough out there with the wind and the rain. We'll look at the winds a little bit closer here in a minute. But the rest of the country looking really good here. South, the north, maybe some scattered showers here in the northeast, but California, northwest looking great. Time to get out there and catch up big. And Sunday, these rains kind of just linger here in this area here. Missouri, southern Illinois, the Dakotas. Going to see some rain on Sunday probably, but we'll discuss that in the weekend update as we get closer. All right, looking at our wind map here. Most of the country looking pretty calm, definitely fishable. You do have this low pressure system that's bringing these storms, and obviously there's going to be winds surrounding that. So Nebraska today is super windy, and then Illinois, Wisconsin going to be very windy right now. But as we move forward into Tuesday, today is Tuesday. Into Wednesday, things start to calm down a little bit because that storm's going to kind of weaken that low pressure system. So the whole country looks pretty good on Wednesday. Should definitely be able to get out there and fish if you have the day off, or even after work, get out there and fish because it looks great. And then on Thursday, looking pretty good. You get some winds picking up here in the desert southwest. I don't know how much water that's fishable out there, so it shouldn't be affecting too many people. Off the coast of California, you're seeing some winds here in the LA region. And then off the coast of Massachusetts, where that low pressure system is ejecting into the Atlantic, you're going to see some winds there. But the rest of the country, a little bit breezy in some areas, but not bad at all. And then on Friday, this thing's slow. Good Lord. Go back. Okay, Friday, these mountain winds, this low pressure system is going to start to move into Nebraska and Oklahoma, Kansas, Texas, and bring some winds here from the south, bringing that warm moisture up that's going to fire up those storms. So that's going to be windy there in those areas on Friday. Rest of the country looks pretty good. Do have some winds off the coast of Maine and again off the coast of California, but the rest of you look really fantastic on Friday. And then on Saturday, more of the same. Winds around this low pressure system as it starts to form even stronger. Rest of the country looking good. And Sunday, let's see here. Sunday morning, same thing. Winds kind of in Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, all the way up into the Dakotas. The rest of the country looking fantastic. So get out there and fish this weekend. We'll have a closer look at it on the weekend update. All right, looking at our daily high temperatures for the week. Today, Tuesday, very warm throughout the southeast, 80 degrees all the way up into parts of Nebraska. California, close to 90 degrees in the desert areas, and then nice on the coast. A little bit cooler air here up, we saw some snow up here in the Dakotas. So a high of in the 40s, which is pretty cool right now. Kind of stinks for fishing. Northwest looking good, and then Maine, you're also in the 40s, which not fun to be in Maine. But eat some lobster, it'll be delicious. On Thursday or Wednesday here, warm air, kind of the same map basically. This cool air kind of shifts to the east, but the rest of you are all in the 70s and 80s, south of a line drawn right across here. So really nice weather for most people to be fishing. Thursday, my internet's super slow today for some reason. Exact same map, basically. Cool air in the northeast, cool air in the Dakotas, but nice weather everywhere else. So get out there and fish, especially in the upper Midwest, looking pretty nice, 60 degrees, which is nice for fishing. Not too hot, not too cool. Friday's looking like a much better day for most of the country. 50s and 60s all the way down to 100s in the south part of Texas. Get out there and throw a deep crankbait right now. Northeast, still kind of cool in the 50s, upper 40s, but the rest of the country looking good. And then Saturday's highs, little shot of cool air up here in South Dakota, but really nice. Upper 60s and 70s here in Nebraska. Nice shot of warm air up here into Colorado. And then northeast still a little bit cool, but everybody else looking good. Northwest warming up significantly on Saturday. And then on Sunday, finally, the final day here, that cool patch kind of sitting over Nebraska and western Dakota, eastern Wyoming. Super warm in Texas, up to 100 degrees in parts of Texas. Florida looking very warm. The Northeast finally warming up into the 60s. Should get that spawn fired back up for you guys. And then the Northwest actually very warm, up into the 70s for you guys. So that's super exciting for you. That's our temperatures. Let's move on. Fish absolutely love that.
Oh my gosh!
Guys, welcome back to Forecast to Fish, where we're breaking down the lures that you need to cover the weather patterns that we're seeing right now. And it's that time of the year where you need to be throwing these two techniques a lot of the time. And what I'm talking about are flukes and floating worms. Each day you go out, if you're not trying this during the post spawn or right at the end of the spawn, you're missing out on some of the best fishing of the year. This is my favorite time to catch fish. What I like to do, we don't need that. That's a huge rage tail craw. Anyway, start off with a fluke, especially in lakes that have shad. Even bluegills, because you can use those green pumpkin ones. This is the smaller size fluke, the Super Fluke Junior in the white pearl, really good bait. I love the 6 Sense Flush. They just came out with this pink color, really awesome. You saw Lee Livesey using this down on the Bassmaster Classic on Ray Roberts. Absolutely hammered them. But guys, rig this weightless or on a scamper rig from Core Tackle. Throw it around in those shallow water areas where there's fry garters and some post-spawn females. The cool thing about this is you twitch it right under the water, you're going to see the fish hit this thing. Super exciting. And then a bait that's overlooked by a lot of anglers is the floating worm. If you guys haven't tried this, you're totally missing out. Again, rig it weightless. It works good on a scamper rig as well. This is a color I like, but my favorite color is absolutely pink. A net bait T-Mac worm or a Zoom trick worm. But a pink worm is super awesome right now. If they won't bite pink, they'll definitely hit white or a methylate you can try. But guys, same situation. Just this thing moves so methodically in the water. They cannot resist it. So twitch it around all your favorite standing cover, 3 to 4 foot of water. They're absolutely going to hit it. And guys, don't sleep on a big fluke. If you're going to throw a fluke, this is the Impact Shad from Lake Fork Lures, guys. 7-inch. Don't be afraid to throw a big one because you're going to trigger bigger bites, but also the small ones can eat it too. Guys, that has been Forecast to Fish. Get out there right now. Throw a floating worm. Throw a fluke. If it's something you haven't tried, it's going to be your new favorite technique. This has been Bass Prediction Center. Right, our lake of the week this week is Franklin D. Roosevelt Lake in Washington State here on the eastern part of Washington, right on the Columbia River. I used to watch some videos with Seth. I cannot remember his name on YouTube. He used to watch a lot of walleye videos. He'd be fishing up in this lake, but kind of a river system here. But it's loaded with smallmouth too. They have a dam on one end. It's super long, goes all the way up to like the Canadian border here. But if you're going to be fishing here, you're going to want to find some flats right in these channel bends here. maybe some points in the morning, wherever the wind's kind of blowing in, and get you some big giant smallmouth, whatever you want to throw this time of year. They're probably spawning up here right now, the smallmouth. So look for those big flat points, flat rocky areas. Throw your Ned rigs, tubes, maybe a drop shot. You guys, you know how the spawning smallmouth are. They cannot resist. You go out there and catch you a pile of fish. But this thing has absolute hogs in it because it has trout. So these are trout eaters. There's giant walleye in here, so you probably catch a walleye. I'm surprised we haven't seen a new world record walleye come out of this area because it's absolutely loaded with bait fish, loaded with trout, and it has some giant walleye. It's a great system. Definitely underrated. If you get up into that Washington area, definitely check it out. It's on my bucket list of fish for sure. So anywhere along this Columbia River. So check it out. Roosevelt Lake, Washington State, Lake of the Week. Go get them.
Sorry. Window don't roll down. Anyway, went out this week, tried throwing a frog around. Got a big old blow up over there on the left side of the pond. Hooked her all the way in. Turned out to be a muskrat. So I switched over to a buzzbait. Threw it out on the east side of the pond. Reeled her all the way in. Got a blow up. Turns out it was a snapping turtle. So I said, screw it. Went catfishing. I caught 4 and ate 2 of them. Damn good supper. Anyway, that's been Gooner signing out.
All right, guys, our week 15 baits of the week, and we have only 3 because we only have 3 areas to worry about. In our spawn zones, I'm bringing out a classic, the Heddon Tiny Torpedo. Just, if you guys haven't ever used a prop style bait on spawning fish, you're going to get not only spawners when you work this thing over the bed, but you're going to get post spawners, fry garters, because this little prop back here makes the bass think that something's trying to eat their fry. So females can't stand this thing over the bed, and the males cannot stand this thing when it's trying to eat their fry. So this baby bass color is really good, but super classic lure. You're going to want to change the hooks on it for sure because it's going to come with some crappy hooks. But this lure's been out for 70 years. Get one today. You can get it at Walmart, anywhere. It's cheap, and it catches a lot of big fish. Post spawn areas, classic, absolute classic bait, the Fluke. I know most of you probably fished a Fluke. If you haven't, get one tied on. You can just put a regular Texas rig hook in here. You can rig it with a hook sticking out the back. You can put a scamper rig on it, hook it through the nose like an old banjo minnow. Super fun way to fish. You watch the fish eat it, twitch it right under the surface of the water. I like to twitch it, let it sink down to where I can just barely see it, twitch it back up over and over in those areas. Some of the most exciting fishing you can do, and some of my favorite fishing of the year. And now's the time to get out there and do it before it gets too hot. Your summer areas, my favorite ways to fish in the summer is find a nice hard bottom area where there's a bunch of fish on it, and get you a tungsten football jig. This is the Beast Coast Max Tungsten Max Fill football jig. Put your favorite trailer on the back. I like either like a Strike King Rage Craw or a net bait. The new, I think it's called a Rascal, on the back of there. Something with some scent, and drag it around. It's got a lot of action. You can leave this really big right now as you move into summer. They're going to be looking. Those big fish don't want to spend their time chasing smaller bait. They want to eat something big. They want to eat one meal a day and be done with it. So leave the skirt full, put a full-size trailer on there, and drag it around all your favorite areas. Another way you can do it, and a lot of guys don't do this, is you can stroke this thing. If you're having a tough time getting bites, but you know fish are there, throw it out there, let it sink to the bottom, rip it up off the bottom as hard as you can, let it sink again, do that over and over, just like you would crack a tube or something like that, blade bait. Guys, that absolutely kills them in the late summer. Even in the middle of summer, if you're having troubles getting bites, it's going to trigger reaction strikes. So those are the baits of the week. Did want to shout out and thank Gooner for his fishing report. Another excellent fishing report as always. So guys, get out there and throw these baits around and catch some giants. Send me some pictures and we'll feature them right here on the channel. Oh, and also, that's been brought to you by Beyond Braid. Go to beyondbraid.com and use code BPC10 at checkout to get yourself 10% off any of their fantastic items over there.
We've got post-spawn chaos, summer giants, and a double dose of low-pressure systems this week. Adjust your baits, watch the skies, and fish the transitions. Guys, make sure to drop a comment where you're fishing at this week. Maybe we'll use it as the lake of the week next week. Like, follow, and subscribe. We'll see you later this week for the weekend update. Hopefully you can get out there and fish. Throw those flukes, throw those floating worms. Maybe they're flirting worms, who knows. But get out there and fish. This has been Bass Prediction Center, Tight Lines, and have a good week.